Morning students, it's Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 Majors Analysis Update for the 27th of January 2011. I'm going to be going over the 4 Majors this morning, starting with the Euro against US dollar. And I've just spoken to a number of our students online, and I said that we could expect a consolidation around the 37.70-50 area. I mentioned it yesterday that we could see it, and the start of play today we've seen a bit of a short consolidation occurring just above the 37.70 mark as we come closer to this previous support resistance area, and there was an opportunity if you're looking for a potential couple of pips this morning to take in. So looking at intraday, we've seen this consolidation taking place. Ideally, if you want to see further extensions, then we would obviously look for a close higher than 13750 to look at further extensions to the upside. But as it stands now, the closer we get to this consolidation area here, you can see we've had a bit of a pause in the past. We could expect the same thing to occur here, and that's exactly what's done now, because psychologically this will also come into play, and we're seeing a bit of it. Will it stack up? Well, then that's entirely up to the market. Ideally, we see a close lower than the previous candle, 13.648, then we could see a possible consolidation occurring. But I think if we're going to see further extensions, then we might see a bit of consolidation, but we'd obviously need to see a close higher and trade higher than 13750 to give us any inkling that we're going to see further extensions. You can see price action slowing down as we've got to this area here, so just take that into consideration. Hey guys, that's the Euro US dollar for today. Next up, I'm going to be doing the sterling against the US dollar. See you in a couple of ticks. Okay, next up is the sterling against the US dollar pair. I mentioned yesterday if the pair stayed above the 20-period moving average going into the US trading session, then we could see possible extensions to the upside, and sure enough, we saw a close and stay higher than 20-period moving average and traded higher than its Asian market high. And sure enough, we saw extensions to the upside. There was some great pips being made. A minimum of 20 pips is what we're looking for, but those of you who would have probably been able to gain at least 50 on this, congrats to you guys. As we see in the moment now, we're also seeing a bit of consolidation, but hopefully the big barrier here at the moment now is the 1600 mark. So you find that if we can see a close higher than 1600, then we could see further extensions. So expect another attempt, if not of 1600, but ideally we want to see further extensions, and we want to see a close higher than 1600. Okay, if not, otherwise what we could do is just see the pair fall over, and we could see it just roll over and head back down towards the 200-period moving average, or the 50-period in this case to start with at 1570, and then 200 down at 154500. Okay, so if you're trading today, then obviously you want to see a close higher than yesterday's high at 159350. And then we could look at 1600 as our first target. Otherwise, what we could do is see if there's any opportunity for a shorting opportunity this afternoon or later this morning, and take it from there. Now, guys, I'll be back next with the US dollar against the Swiss franc. I'll see you in a couple of ticks. Okay, as we're heading south on this pair, the US dollar against the Swiss franc, you'll notice that we've had a consolidation yesterday, and I've always mentioned after a doji, we would like to see a confirmation signal. So ideally today, I'm not going to be looking at trading the US dollar Swiss franc until I have a significant candle telling me which direction we're likely to go to. If we see a close lower than yesterday's close of 0.940, then there could be an opportunity to look at the previous low that we've seen here at 935 as a possible target. Otherwise, you can see we've had a bit of consolidation, and as of the Asian market and European session open today, we've seen it trading higher than yesterday's close. For this to be considered bullish, we need to see at least a nice bullish candle, ideally engulfing the previous one, so we could see a morning star formation, like this one over here, for example, indecision, a bullish engulfing from the previous down candle, and then we could trade exactly the same thing. So look to see on this pair here, if you're not trading today, wait for a decision candle. If you get a nice bullish up candle, then it could be an indication that we're seeing higher highs expected, because this swing here would be higher than that swing, and then we're going to see an up candle. So if we see, if we see one of these candles, a nice bullish engulfing occurring around here, like we saw over here, for example, this morning star formation, then we could see some further extensions to the upside. If the Swiss franc is doing that, if the US dollar is gaining strength, then obviously you would want to see the opposite occurring on your euro and sterling. Okay, that's my forecast on the US dollar against Swiss franc. Next up will be my last pair of the day, the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Okay, here, like I mentioned on the US dollar, Swiss franc, and the majors, you'll notice that we've had the US dollar gaining strength this morning. Also on the Asian market, the European session open is seeing the pair trading higher. This, if we can hold on to this, will obviously give us an inclination that we're seeing swing highs. You know, this swing over here is higher than that one and this one over here, so we're seeing a bit of a change in market sentiment. Okay, to start with, you'll notice that our trend is still down because these swings, we haven't had a higher one. Okay, so ideally what we want to do is see the pair trading higher than 83.50, which will take it above the 50 period moving average in this case, because you see in the 50 period moving average acting as a resistance level. So don't be faked in, rather wait, get a confirmation. We'll probably get one this afternoon on the US session. There's news out this afternoon, quite a lot of news for the US market. If that turns bullish for the US market, then we could see further extensions occurring, and then ideally we could look at a potential target of roughly where we've had a previous resistance level, just above the 8400 mark. But the first thing over here at the moment now is we need to see it clearing and trading higher than 83.50 in my case. So I'm not going to be trading US Japanese yen until I get a nice close and trading higher than 83.50 for me to even think about the possibility of gaining 50 pips, 100 pips to the upside later this afternoon or going in tomorrow's trading. Alright guys, that's it for the 27th of January 2011. Hopefully I'll be back on tomorrow morning to give you another further update on the four majors. Have a fantastic day trading. Keep your gains simple. Trade simple. Don't make it hard. Wait for the market to give you an indication of what is likely to occur, and you trade that. Okay? All the best, guys. Take care.